There may be no place in the Catskills that is both as beloved and misunderstood as Woodstock. There are likely more peace signs here per square inch than anywhere else. Candle shops, crunchy vibe, can you say peace, love, and cupcakes? But caricatures aside, Woodstock, New York is genuinely one of America's oldest artist colonies where the creativity is varied and still going strong.
I think we should do green to orange up this way.
Painter, printmaker, and Catskill native Kate McLaughlin is well known for her large dramatic paintings that capture the painful history of building the nearby Ashokan Reservoir. She also teaches printmaking at the Woodstock School of Art.
We call ourselves the best kept secret in the Hudson Valley.
Music, needless to say, became a major arts influence here. The signs are all over, like this local haunt where a young guy named Bob Dylan used to hang.
Well, I'll tell you, music took over.
It did, but alas, what would have been Woodstock's crowning musical moment eluded the town. As unique and lovely as Woodstock, New York is, and as much as it richly deserves its long artistic legacy, there are many people who nonetheless associate this town with something that quite simply didn't happen here. The Woodstock Music Festival's producer, Michael Lang, lived here and is honored here, but when he proposed his great idea for 3 days of peace, love, and music here in 1969, the town of Woodstock said no.
Too many people, too much traffic. So they moved it down to Max Yasker's farm down in Bethel.
60 miles down the road, into another county and into history. A quiet and pastoral former farm field today, but in August 1969, nearly 500,000 people here made the Woodstock Music Festival a legend. August 2025 marks the 56th anniversary of history's most famous rock concert. Its name intact, but its location switched at the last minute from Woodstock to a Jewish dairy farmer's 300-acre alfalfa field in Bethel, New York. The crowds were not confused.
By Friday, there's several 100,000 people gathered here. We're like, holy smokes.
But over the weekend of August 15th, the crowds kept coming. Local roads choked off, cars left behind, festival tickets no longer even required.
And it kept growing, yeah, really quite amazing.
A hippie entrepreneur, as he puts it, silversmith Ken Bray was 27 in 1969 and drove his camper trailer up from Pennsylvania to work one of the 20 craft booths at the festival. So Ken, this is where you were set up. The field's right down here, the bowl is here, the stage.
Not that many came up once they got at their spot.
They didn't want to give up their spot.
I think that's part of it. How could I possibly find it? Or my girlfriend, how could I find my girlfriend?
Today, you can see Ken Bray's booth set up at the Woodstock Festival Museum, all part of what has evolved at Max Yasger's former farm. In 2006, the pavilion at Bethel Woods was created and is today a major regional concert venue.
I think it's not too far from a jump to say we should do shows here, like we should see music here. Like this site was about music historically and is about music today.
See the tree line to the right? Those 3 tree lines? Original stage was right there.
The site today is also a destination for visitors coming to commune with that original alfalfa field.
It's one of the few sites that is saved and honored and respected a historic site because of peace, not war.
But it's a special area. They talk about the vibe, whatever it is. You feel goodness, you feel peace.
Texas native Duke Devlin came here for Woodstock in his 20s and never left. For years, he volunteered at the Bethel Center, charming visitors and musicians alike.
You know, some of the people from the press at that time, headlines, you know, sex, drugs, and rock and roll. But that wasn't our theme. Our theme was peace, love, and music.
The small store where we met up with Duke is itself a Woodstock pilgrimage site. Today, Tara Brust owns and runs the Bethel Market and Cafe, but in 1969, it was still Joyner's General Store.
It was a historic event. It could never happen again.
That may well be true, but for those who were there and those who returned, it remains a farm field and a few days of memories that have lasted a lifetime.
This now I realize has become the bookend, for my career. Standing here, in 2025 and realizing that I was here in '69, pretty amazing.